Anytime you like.
Hello, I'm Heidi Wineland. I'm married to Dr. John Wineland. I am not a historian, I am a librarian, and my particular expertise is in film history. And also as a librarian, I know a lot about novels and reading as well. So that's why we've come together to combine our two expertise. So what I'm going to be talking to you about is what to be looking for when you're looking at your popular culture. Mostly films and books. We're also going to do some popular songs, poetry, that sort of thing. So that's my expertise, and that's what I'm going to be talking to you about. I will also be able to help you in your research. Now, when we did this previously, I was actually the librarian at the college. I'm not a librarian here, but I'm still a librarian, and you also have excellent librarians here. I want to emphasize that this is a research class, not an opinion class. So if you're coming up with, well, I can't find anything, well, for heaven's sakes, come to me. Tell me, I will point you the right way. So I'm not your professor, I'm just your guest expert. So you can call me Heidi, I'm your friend. Call me up, come to the house. That's Dr. Wineland. He is your professor.
He's not your friend.
He is not your friend. You should call him Dr. Wineland. He will be reading and grading your papers. He'll be looking at all the online discussions. He's the one that you have to answer to. So if it comes down to asking me a question and asking him a question and he gives you a different answer, he wins. We have had in the past people try to, pull the, well, Heidi said on him. Don't try to play mom against dad. He's your professor. He's the one giving you the grades. Okay, so what is this class about? The class is about understanding the role of popular culture in recording and teaching history, learning to distinguish fact from fiction. Basically, my mantra is question everything. Everything that you are seen and told, check it, make sure it's true. We're going to look at propaganda, romanticism, revisionism, and we're also going to understand the words that I cannot say.
Historiography.
I didn't have to say it. He knew the word that I cannot say. The art of studying history. So a lot of your histories come down to you through academic history, through, Pliny and Herodotus and people like that. But a lot of history has come down through popular means, and so I want you to learn how to look at it, analyze it, pick it apart. And I have a button here.
Arrow down.
Arrow down. So, much of the history that you see comes through a lens of an interpreter. Here, Mel Gibson is directing the movie Braveheart while actually also acting in the movie Braveheart. So most of what you know about William Wallace probably comes through this lens. So the first thing we're going to ask is, what is popular culture?
Do you want us to answer popular?
No, I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you. Although I do encourage chit-chattiness.
Well, how do we know which is not a rhetorical question?
I will point to you.
They're all rhetorical.
Okay.
Remember what all that?
Yes, tell me who would like to comment on the difference between what is popular culture, the difference between high culture and low culture. Does anyone have an opinion on popular culture, high culture, low culture? Yes, go ahead.
Well, it was the first time I've heard of high culture and folk low culture, but from my best estimate is where high culture, they believe that anything that's just written is true and shouldn't be changed for the sake of entertainment-wise.
No, but good idea. Yes, ma'am.
Is high culture people who have more finances or more resources, and then low culture is more of like the common man?
Yes. Throughout history, up until, say, Industrial Revolution, everybody's culture, no matter what society you were in, was sort of the haves and the have-not, the us and the them. So the kind of culture that the high culture people, the educated, the wealthy would enjoy, opera, ballet, private entertainers in your home, is very different from the folk culture or the low culture, which would be folk songs, folk dancing, festivals, that sort of thing. And so the sort of entertainments that the wealthy people would enjoy, these people would never go, to a folk dance, and these people would never go to the ballet. So think about, did anyone see Titanic? Yes. Okay, so the sort of thing Rose is doing up on her part of the ship, those people don't, mingle and have the same entertainments as the people on the third class part of the
They
ship.
don't evidently share their rafts.
No.
Floating objects will be needed.
However, with the invention of mass media, films, newspapers, cheaply printed books, everybody started sharing the same culture. So this is where we have popular culture. So both rich people and poor people watch Game of Thrones. We all go to the same movies, we all watch the same TV shows, even so far back, talking in the 19th century, the newspapers, everybody read the same funnies. Everybody, as soon as movies came along, they knew the same movie stars. So of course, you still have sort of high culture things that, not that, you have more video game fans than you have opera fans, but it's not necessarily a money cultural distinction with our mass culture. Even people without a lot of means can still watch opera on YouTube. So what we're going to be talking about is the popular culture, the stuff that we all share, not the highfalutin, sophisticated. Okay, next question. Academic history versus popular history. Anybody tell me the difference there?
Popular history is where most people would know, and academic is where more specific historical events or information they would know.
Who writes academic history? Smarty Pants Wineland back there. Who reads academic history?
Scholars.
Smarty Pants Wineland back there. So much of academic history is written by scholars for scholars and students. So have any of you read any Herodotus? Did you pick that yourself?
No.
Or did Smarty Pants Wineland tell you how to read it? So when I talk about popular history, I'm not talking, it's not the only history that existed. So a lot of times I'm going to say, oh, the people learned about this from this, and people knew about this from that. Well, people at the universities weren't getting it from, Taylor Swift. But the vast majority of the people, especially in a pre-literate age, were getting their history from popular media. And most of us get most of our history from popular media. I mean, we have our special areas of studies, things that we're experts in, that we might have more academic experience with, but for the most part, we're getting it through the popular route. So these people very well may be reading on the exact same subject, but they are unlikely to be reading the exact same book. So there are academic books on Lincoln, there are popular books on Lincoln. It's not to say, oh, everything popular is just, SpongeBob SquarePants. There is a lot of historical information that's popular, but it's aimed at the common man. Ooh, that's the end of my slideshow. So, popular history is generally written by entertainers rather than scholars. There's a lot more emphasis on keeping you engaged, keeping you entertained, not so much on historical accuracy. And so what we're going to do in class is every Wednesday, I'm going to be here in the classroom. I'm going to be talking to you about all our different subjects of what we're going to be looking at. It's divided into 10 parts, and things like biography, memoir, combat, documentary, and you're going to have an assignment on each one. I'm also going to be putting things up online for you to do. And then, as I said, everything, all of the grading, the discussion, all that stuff will be handled by Dr. Wineland. Dr. Wineland, would you like to address the class?
Certainly.
Because that's all meanwhile, while he's getting the page up, does anyone have any questions for me? Yes, sir.
So like with all these categories,
Uh-huh.
you'll talk to us about, we have to like pick one from each category or something
Yes,
like that?
yes, and this is the fun part, because this is where it gets to be a combat sport.
It is a combat sport.
Each category, let's say biography.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pick a biography, either a film or a book, to look at and review